right, we're going to switch gears now to a story that made huge news around the country, and we covered it extensively here on NewsNation. It was that midair collision in Washington, D.C. between that passenger plane and that helicopter. Now, since that time, the scrutiny has been largely focused on the Black Hawk helicopter, that it was flying too high when it crashed into an American Airlines passenger jet. Well, tonight there's a New York Times report that asserts that the fateful night happened because of a series of safety failures, not just one thing, but many. Not only was the helicopter flying too high, the New York Times found that the pilot of the helicopter, Captain Rebecca Lobach, did not follow her flight instructor's direction to change course to avoid the jet just seconds before the crash. The New York Times also found the helicopter missed key information when crew members talked over instructions that were coming in from air traffic controllers. And it also finds that there was never an urgent warning from air traffic control that a midair collision was imminent. NewsNation obtained audio from air traffic control 20 seconds before the crash, and in it you can hear the tower ask that Black Hawk helicopter if it could see the plane, and then to pass behind it if it did. The helicopter then requests visual separation. Listen.
At-2 in flight. At-2 pass on is CRJ.
This club has an aircraft inside separation.
Now, after they get that confirmation for visual separation, the air traffic controller approved it and then gives the pilots permission to monitor air traffic on their own. That's what that means. But the tower is supposed to continue monitoring all air traffic, and the Times reports that that controller failed to issue a clear, urgent warning or instructions to the chopper pilot to avert that collision. 15 seconds before impact, the flight instructor told the chopper pilot he believed the tower wanted them to go behind the jet or to veer left. But the pilot didn't do that. Instead, the chopper continued straight and crashed into the jet, killing all 67 people on board both craft. Joining us now is Matthew Buckley. He's a veteran military pilot, familiar with this exact route in and out of Reagan National Airport. Matthew, this crash appears to be the result of, I don't know, inexperience combined with overconfidence, combined with failure of equipment?
Good evening, Elizabeth. I think you got answer D, all of the above. As you alluded to in your intro, any aviation mishap is a series of links in the chain. You pull out any one of those links and the mishap doesn't occur. In this case, from the air traffic controller to the Captain Lobach flying to the instructor pilot. And let me lead with this as part of our brief. If the New York Times reporting is accurate, the formal report obviously will come from the Army and the NTSB. I want to be clear. Even though Captain Lobach was flying the aircraft, the instructor pilot is solely responsible for this mishap. Now, a lot of civilians might not understand that. She was flying the aircraft. She is part of the cause. The air traffic controller call we can talk about as well if you'd like to. But at the end of the day,
we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Elizabeth, Chief Warrant Officer Eves literally took a pen and signed for that helicopter saying, I own this aircraft and everything that happens on board is my responsibility.
Okay, so that 15 seconds before the crash happens, you can hear the instructor pilot say, I think they want us to veer left. The chopper doesn't veer left. We don't know what's happening inside the chopper, if she didn't hear him or if she was having a health event. We have no clue because obviously everybody on board is dead. But the instructor pilot also has control, doesn't he? Couldn't he have taken control and veered left instead?
Absolutely, Elizabeth. So as a F-18 instructor pilot for Navy and Marine Corps aviators, I don't talk twice. If you are on a check flight, that person is supposed to be on their game. This is a check ride. You should be doing absolutely no instruction.
Right.
If you have to talk for safety of flight, like this instructor had to give a couple sugar calls, we call it. Like, hey, I think we should be turning left or we should be descending. If she didn't acknowledge those, it's over with. I'm assuming control of the aircraft. The flight's over with and you failed. And this obviously didn't happen. There's a fine line, Elizabeth, as an instructor pilot. You got to let out a little bit of a leash. But if it's going to result in a safety of flight issue, you have to take the flight controls.
And then, of course, we've got the fact that the air traffic controller who was working alone, there was often two people doing this job that one man was doing that night, that there was never a clear, urgent warning, even though you could hear the collision alert in the background when you can't hear it from the audio that we've played for you, but if you amplify it, you can. There was no warning from the air traffic controller, like, collision imminent, veer left, urgent, urgent. There was nothing like that.
So, Elizabeth, from the instructor pilot to this controller, these are two people who want this back. They want this back to do it again. Because, Elizabeth, when the Army crew said, hey, traffic in sight, we're going to maintain visual separation, to that controller, that was a mental check mark. Like, okay, good. They have that traffic in sight. I'm busy. I'm by myself. I'm going to go on and do other things. But as you showed as part of the video here, I haven't gone to air traffic control school, but if I see a plane going exactly at another plane, co-altitude, you just said, and I've heard it on the tapes too, the collision alarm going off, there needs to be a directive traffic call. Pat 25, confirm you have traffic on your nose, co-altitude, half a mile, acknowledge. Right. I guarantee the instructor pilot would have sat up straight and this mishap might not have occurred.
I've only got 10 seconds, Matthew, but we believe that both the instructor pilot and the chopper pilot were wearing night vision goggles, and they had requested visual separation. Would the night vision goggles have helped or hurt their ability to see that passenger plane?
A little bit of both, Elizabeth. It's almost too much. But in this case, it seems like they might have gotten caught in the background of all the ambient lighting. So it's a tough one to judge because they're not here to give us that full answer.
Yeah, boy, what a tragedy. Matthew, always great to have you on the show. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your expertise.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
All right, coming